What's going on, YouTube? It's Saint Riot, and I have made a build for a charity event. I've actually made an entire damn player covenant out of it. This is level 60, and we are at plus 12 weapons, and this is a member of the family. And the family are, they're all obsessed with the Formless Mother. Here's a look at the equipment that we're using, talismans and what have yous, weapons and all that stuff, fashion as well. So I made this covenant for a charity event that we're going to do in February, and different streamers, content creators, whatever, are making player covenants, and we're all going to just have a fun day in the arena. And any time to opposing covenants with the streamers or whatever fight, anytime that happens in the arena, the winner of the arena bout will win money towards a charity of their choice. And so, as I play through the game, I like to invade with my build and see how it's progressing. And this build is sort of a different take on my Honest Rivers build. I wanted to do something that was kind of familiar-ish, for the Covenant. And so I thought, well, let's use Bloodflame Talon's combos, and we'll use Bloodflame Blade. And what would go good with Bloodflame Talon? Oh, the Warhawk Talon, where the bloody Warhawk Talon. And it works okay. It's pretty good. There's no innate bleed on the Warhawk Talon like there was on the Nagakiba. The Nagakiba, the katanas, most of them have innate bleed, meaning they, just as soon as you pick them up, they are capable of bleeding out your opponents. There is not a straight sword that is capable of doing that, but between Blood Boon, Bloodflame Talon, Bloodflame Blade, and the Warhawk Talon's unique heavy attack where it hits twice, we are able to proc bleed semi-reliably, not as reliably as you would like, but it's not bad. There you see the cool combo. Doing the build this way and streaming as I'm making the build is that's a little rough. Sometimes, you get the people who are watching the stream and they've got the mean builds ready to stream snipe. And in that situation, it's nice to have a mean weapon. So the scavenger sword or something that has innate bleed. Something that you can just absolutely, rush people down, punish them, and bleed them out immediately. That's nice. But, for most folks, the Warhawk Talon, is more than enough. Especially with Millicent's prosthesis, as well as, for the multi-hit buff, you get that on the heavy attacks. And the Lord of Blood or whatever's Exaltation, where if someone bleeds, you get an AR buff. So the premise of my covenant here was you had to wear some, a chest piece, a big, portion of your fashion had to come from, Moog's family. So the White Surgeon set, or the Sanguine Noble set. Look at that spacing. Absolutely perfect. Stuff like that. Anything was fine, but you're not allowed to wear the white mask, Vare's mask. That's off limits. Just too much. You know what I'm saying? That's overkill. We don't need that. But that's basically the build. That's what it's built around. Is just Bloodflame Talon into Talon R2. We've got Bloody Slash to finish people off, and this is what our fashion ended up looking like by the end of the build. I thought a cool helmet for the Covenant. Any helmet's fine as long as it has a little bit of a horror aesthetic to it. And I leave that open to interpretation. I don't care how you choose to interpret a helmet with a horror aesthetic, just as long as, you know what I'm saying, I believe there was in the United States, I think it was a senator during like a Senate meeting about pornography. They said, well, how do you define it? And he said, you know it when you see it. And it's sort of the same thing with the horror-inspired helmet. You'll know it when you see it. So, Blood Boon here, if you've never played with it, you get this for defeating Mohg, the big Mohg, the real Mohg, Phase 2 Mohg in the Mogwin Dynasty area. And then you get Bloodflame Talon for defeating Sewer Mohg. And Blood Boon is one of those spells where up close, free aimed, it's absolutely brutal. But outside of that, it's very, very finicky, and it doesn't do much, but it can hit people at least, and sort of have them thinking about what they should or should not be doing. This is a silly thing that happens, and you know, it's already been reported to Bandai and the community manager and everything. Just an unfortunate little glitch here, but it's kind of funny in this instance. But yeah, not a great thing to have. The Carrion Retaliation bullets, if your weapon has Bloodflame Blade buff on it, guess what? The Carrion Retaliation has Bloodflame Blade on it, because they don't know how to program in a weapon buff does from software, which is silly. But people have often asked what is taking so long to fix the Fire's Deadly Sin glitch. And I suspect what is taking so long to fix that is there are a ton of similar issues that maybe we're not as aware of, and From Software is aware of them, and they're having to fix all of it at once rather than just fix it one at a time as they pop up. Like, they've already fixed Fire's Deadly Sin with Deathblight, but they haven't fixed it with Bleed. And people rightfully are like, yo, what the hell? Why is this taking so long? You fixed it with Deathblight instantly. Why does it take so long to fix it with Bloodflame Blade? And the answer, I believe, I don't have any knowledge or anything, but if I had to guess, the answer is probably that they need to fix a bunch of stuff, and they're just going to try and fix it all in one go. But that probably requires completely changing the way that buffs work in terms of like how they're coded. But yeah. This is a fun build. It's really fun. These invasions right here, these last invasions that start with this one, all of these happened off stream, and so these were all like very obviously not stream snipe type invasions. Most of my builds are like pretty good, even, you know, like they can deal with stream snipers. This is a bleed build, but it's kind of honest, as honest as a bleed build can be. So a lot of times it struggles against some of the meaner builds, which is why it's nice to have that spiked spear. You might have seen the spiked spear in my inventory. That's nice to have when things get mean. And the scavenger sword is nice to have when things get mean. Those two weapons make this build a lot less honest. But, you know, most of the time, they're not completely necessary. But level 60 is a harsh hell world. People, I keep talking about this, I'll keep saying it. People say like, oh, 125 is the worst place to invade. It's so hard. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind if you think that. I would rather invade at 125 or 130 or 140 than level 60 any day of the week, because at level 60, overleveled phantoms are absolutely brutal, and you don't have to just take my word for it anymore. There's like straight up math about it now. Jerp does games on Twitter, also streams, also here on YouTube. Jerp has like an entire write-up on this thing, and like it's like mathematically, you know, quantifiable how absolutely busted password summons are between levels like 30 and whatever. The moment you have a maximum upgraded weapon, it becomes much easier to to deal with those phantoms, because now you can do damage too. So at level 60 like this, man, they're just an absolute nightmare. But that's a whole other can of worms we'll get into at some point. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Later, y'all.